And finally, the last award of the evening. It's the C Tickets Award for Best New Musical.
And the winner is the phenomenon that is the RSC's Matilda by Tim Minchin, Dennis Kelly at the Cambridge Theatre. Please welcome Michael Boyd and Matthew Warchus. Oh, and the whole company. The whole company. And the whole company.
Yeah, there's another one.
Here he comes back on. Here he comes. Go on you go.
Hello, I'm Michael Boyd, and these are the people who really made Matilda happen. I'd like to start by thanking Lissy Dahl for actually trusting the RSC to get Matilda right in 2003, and then having the patience to wait until 2010 for us to prove her right. I'd also like to thank two small people. There's no small people on stage. There are two small people in the corner there, Kelly and Cleo, who are staying in the corner because all four Matildas aren't here tonight, and they're under strict instructions, no press, no interviews, unless there's all four of them. But stars of the show, way in the corner there. Matilda started to make sense when Dennis Kelly invented the key to unlock a way of putting it on stage. You have to see it to understand what I mean. Very shortly after that, Matthew and Tim started turning it into the wonderful piece it is. I'd like to thank all the people that I had the fantastic joy of seeing in all the workshops in our rehearsal room for the last 2 years, and some of them are doing other things here tonight, and they've all contributed to the journey. But I'll hand you to Matthew now, who will tell you more about the journey. I was worried that he was watching The Midwives too, but he was actually reading to his children, so thankfully he can say something.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much. And most people in this room tonight, I think, know some of the things that go into making a new musical, and what an enormous undertaking it is, and how the end result is just a tapestry of a myriad of threads of expertise from so many people, as Michael says, over such a long time, in fact, about 4 years just for me, and they started before I started. I do know quite a lot. I feel I've been sort of like drenched in the experience of new musicals over the last year, what with Ghost as well, and two completely different shows, ostensibly, although strangely enough, they're both revenge stories in which somebody from one world is trying to right the wrongs in another world. In Ghost, the person's dead and is trying to sort out something in the living world, and the Matilda, she's a child trying to solve something in the adult world. Also, many of my collaborators worked on both shows, and they were both wonderfully acknowledged equally, matched with 9 nominations each, which was a great thrill for both productions. But most importantly, they're both shows that, although they've got an awful lot of, I hope, intellectual merit in them, really their success is due to the way they make people feel, and they both make people in the audience feel an awful lot, and I think that's what musicals do in many ways better than any other form. But once we've made the piece, of course, the trick is to sustain it and maintain it. And I'm in New York at the moment doing Ghost again, but in London, Matilda is kept alive by a phenomenal company of performers on stage and people backstage, crew and musicians, front of house people and company managers, and personally I want to thank my associates Luke Shepherd and Lottie Wakeham, who are looking after the production night after night. In brackets, just because I'm here and I'm completely cheating, I'm going to thank Paul Warwick-Griffin and Ruth Carney at Ghost as well, who are doing exactly the same job for me there. But anyway, the last word has to be the children of Matilda. It's its trump card and it's its heart, of course, the phenomenal work that they do. They're so inspiring, the courage that they have to just walk out there and do it. those four Matildas who are performing are a real problem for me, actually, because every time I watch the show, and you can imagine I've watched it a lot, I'm reduced to tears. Not only that, the other day, one of the ex-Matildas from Stratford-on-Avon days, who's no longer in the show, turned up to see the show and was at the stage door when I came out, and I burst into tears then. So, although I hope it has a long and healthy run, it's not very good for my emotional stability. Thank you very much indeed.